Hey everybody and welcome to the bullshit party. And in this one we're gonna be looking at... Oh wait, that's not it. And in this one we're gonna be playing... Wait, that's not it either. What was this video supposed to be about? What did I say in my last video? I've decided that if this video gets 500 likes by tomorrow, which is Friday the 4th of December, I will make a video describing how you can make money with the deadline activity alone. You know what? I'll do you one better. I'll make $1 million in GTA Online only using the deadline activity. Wow, well, that sounds ambitious, but I'm sure that video didn't get 500 likes. But let's check just to be sure. I mean, what was I thinking? $1 million in a couple of hours? But I'm sure I have nothing to worry about. I'm sure that video didn't get 500... Oh, Well, at least we know the topic of this one. And just so everybody understands, the topic of this one is gonna be the deadline activity, a strategy guide for it, and me trying to make $1 million within the deadline activity in the next couple of hours. Fun! And this video is gonna be divided into two parts, the first part explaining the deadline activity and the second part me trying to win the $1 million. The first part is gonna be a little bit more educational and the second part is gonna be a little bit more fun, so pick and choose whichever one you want. Or even better, watch them both! So you want to make money with the deadline adversary mode. Good choice! It's a lot of fun and you can make a lot of money with it. If you're the host of the game, what you want to do is make sure you max out all the winning conditions. And the two that are very important are the rounds to win and the round duration. And this one's gonna be for the last alive game type. There is a little bit of a different strategy in the deathmatch game type, which I'm gonna explain a little bit later. So let's just jump straight to the action. First thing you want to do is make sure you apply boost as soon as the event starts. This is the same as with the races, so just press the gas pedal as soon as you see the green go light. In some cases, if the host has disabled this, you're not gonna be able to do it, but try it anyway. I've been hearing from people different preferences on different arenas they like to battle in, and I'm here to share my personal opinion that the arena doesn't really matter. As long as you're somewhat familiar with your surroundings, you'll be good. If you haven't played this activity before, or if you haven't won before, the one thing that you need to remember is that you can accelerate and decelerate. This totally changes how you strategize and play the game. And as you can see, this was my first game and I totally forgot to enable my minimap before I started. And of course somebody saw that I wasn't paying attention and took advantage of it. Good game. Also remember that you can lean backwards or forwards on your bike, and this will further help you maneuver throughout the field. Last alive matches are pretty straightforward. All you need to do is make sure that you're the last person alive before the timer runs out. Or if the timer runs out, that you have the most lives left. And the way I win almost every single game that I play is I play passively the first 3/4 of the game. I let everybody else kill everybody else and then I swoop in. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, the map you're playing on doesn't really matter, as long as you have an idea of your surroundings. And if you'd ask me which power-up do I recommend, I'd recommend both the jump and the speed power-up for different reasons. The speed power-up is great for offense if you want to attack somebody, and the jump power-up is great for defense if somebody else is attacking you and you want to avoid them. And if you're following this advice before you know it, you'll have a game that looks something like this. And sadly, one of the players quit during the game, so there's not gonna be a round 2. So the winnings here are gonna be pretty modest, but let's skip over to the next one. Oh, and if you look at the top left hand side of the screen, you'll see that we're keeping track of how much money I make throughout this thing. And this is what a deathmatch looks like. It's pretty similar, but instead of the bottom right having a counter for how many lives you have left, it counts how many kills you've done this game. Full disclosure, I'm not very good at deathmatches, that's why I usually stick with last man standing. But one very important thing to remember here, and one that I realized sorta late in this game, is that if you throw yourself off the side of the map, there's no penalty for you. So you can trick your opponents, make them crash into you, and then throw yourself, basically sacrificing yourself and getting a kill in the process. That's pretty much the advice I have for the deadline activity. It's very fun and I do recommend you try it, especially now when it's triple money and RP. And by any chance, if you're wondering for the outcome of this one, well, this is it. I gotta say, not my best performance. And with that, I'm pretty much all out of advice, so it's time to go back to me actually trying to make $1 million in this activity. Okay, I deserve that. Thank you, Daddy. May I have another? And this is the next one. This was 2 rounds, I believe. And one thing that I want to point out about the counter on the top left of the screen is that it doesn't count the kills and the money that I make through them. That said, 42k more, and on to the next one. I gotta say, the most difficult part for me about this challenge was waiting in lobbies for such a long time before actually making a game with 4 people. I genuinely don't understand why GTA Online's matchmaking is so broken, but it is. But enough complaining, we won this one as well, 66,000 more in the bank, and let's move on to the next one. And in case you were curious, yes, this was 2 rounds. And this next one was extremely intense. Picture this, this is the 3rd round, I have 1 win and the other guy has 1 win. And as you can see, he's dominating me. And at this point, it doesn't look good for your boy. Even though I'm gonna make money, it's not gonna be the winning money that I wanted. So that's it, time's up, we lost this one, but still 84k in the bank. But I wanted to do one last thing. Since this was a long game and both of us put a lot of effort in it, I wanted to congratulate my opponent on a good game. And I'm pretty sure you can piece it out from here. But back to the topic of the video. This was the 2nd round and as you can see, I was dominating it. The problem with this game, however, was the time limit. It was only set to 5 minutes. And this is why I only got $60,000 at the end. And would you look at that, we're already almost a third of the way there. And let's celebrate with some of these. Enough celebration. And as you can see, this one was a replay of the last one. So guess how much money I'm gonna make. No, you're wrong. It's 66,000. Why? I don't know. But I'm putting it in the tally on the top left hand side of the screen. And the next one is pretty modest. It's the same map, but we only got 42,000 because it was less rounds. All in all, not great, and that's why I prefer to have larger time limits and more rounds to maneuver, because you don't have to wait in the lobbies, and that's what kills time here. And speaking of time, at this point I was about 2.5 hours in. And that's of course including the funnest part of the game, the matchmaking, and waiting in lobbies. My playtime was probably about 1/5 of that. And this is where things start to go weird. See, I was just kicked out of a game and I decided to check how much money I have. And all of a sudden, I discovered that I was on 513,000. If you remember, at the beginning of the video, I transferred all of my money in my bank account, so this is all fresh money. And the only way I can explain the difference is the triple money and RP you get when you kill somebody in game. That said, let's go back to the matchmaking and continue the challenge. Whoops. Okay, so we got only 12,000 because I lost. But don't worry, I'm sure the next one's gonna be better. This was one of those really intense ones. I believe it was 3 or even 4 rounds. I won a couple, another guy won a couple, and this was the deciding round. And not to sound like a broken record again, but this is where this mode shines. It's so much fun, and it completely makes up for the broken matchmaking. But there we have it, your boy won, and let's see how much exactly that is. Okay, good, so we're crossing the $500,000 mark. And even though I'm not mentioning it, I am gaining a lot of experience in the meantime as well. And I think it's time for a well-deserved air thrust. And that's enough. This one was 1 round, literally nothing special, most of the people quit, so yeah, let's just move on. And this next one was one of those really cool ones that just didn't go my way. I mean, I won. Anyway, even in defeat, I got 30,000 more. So the money is getting up there, almost at 600,000. And this next one was an easy win for both rounds. So in total, in about 10 minutes, we made another $42,000. Not bad, but I'm sure we'll be able to do better. I remember before, and I'm talking about a couple of years ago, when I played this game mode, I used to make over 100,000 each game. Back when people didn't, quit mid-game. And to give you some context on this one, I won 1 round, lost 1 round, and this was the deciding one. And they were long 15-minute rounds. So the $100,000 is well deserved. And this is pushing us even closer to the $1 million. This might actually be possible. And what you're watching right now is the end of an insane 25-minute battle. By the way, as of the making of this video, this event, the deadline event, is still triple money and RP, so I urge you to go and do it. That said, we won this match as well, and got a handsome $145,000 for it. Not too bad. That's what happens when people don't quit mid-game. And if you saw the first part of the video and heard me explain my strategy, you can see my strategy in action. 9 lives remaining and 3 seconds on the clock left. Oh, and by the way, this is the 3rd and deciding round. And there was a lot of riding on this round, as you'll see in a little bit. And the total winnings for the match were $174,000, which puts us well north of 1 million. Oh, and look at that, we even leveled up. And I think you'll all agree with me that it's time for some celebration. That's right, time for air thrusting. And enough of that. And there we have it, guys, over $1 million made in the deadline activity alone. And I still don't understand why there's about $100,000 difference between the money that we made and the money that we see on the right hand side of the screen. But maybe someone in the comment section down below can enlighten me. Why is that happening? And a quick check at the transaction log, these are my last 16 transactions, which is funny because it took us 15 deadline events in order to make the million. And I think that pretty much brings an end to the video. Thank you so much to everybody who watched. Hopefully you liked what you saw and maybe you even learned something new. And if that's the case, please don't forget to leave a like and let me know in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, there's a lot more cool content to come in the future. And with all that, ooh, $2,000. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And we're back at square one.